Hey everyone, I'm PYRE and welcome to this faction guide for Heroes Hour. Let's start with the Order. The Kingdom of Order's armies are focused on defense and holding formation. Their units are rather slow, but have a lot of health and skills that make them more sturdy. They have very strong defensive units like the Halberdier and the Paragon, specialized in protecting their few damage dealers like the Arbalist and the Friar. Their late game unit is the Seraph. It's a very fast, flexible flying unit that turns the tide of battle where needed. Their heroes are focused on buffing their armies with blessing or rallying, making it even harder to break through the Order's defensive lines. For buildings, they have the Conscription Center, which is a very flexible, powerful building once you get it. It allows you to either get a lot of units very quickly for the short-term benefit, or sacrifice units for the long-term gold benefit, depending on your situation. Hostler gives you more map control by making your heroes faster, and the Counting House makes sure you'll never run out of gold. The Wild. The Wild Avengers armies are focused on outmaneuvering their enemies and spamming the battlefield with summons. A lot of their units are really fast, like the Moon Beast, the Golden Bug or the Ritualist. Some of their units also have the Afterlife ability, which means when they die, they'll summon an Anima, which is the unupgraded version of the Forest Spirit. For late game they have the Grove Soul, which is a big tank and their only real defensive option. Use it to protect your most valuable troops. The Wild's heroes will support their armies by summoning animals, which will turn into anima after the fight, giving you an unlimited supply of small disposable flying units. For buildings, the Wild has the Elemental Gate, which will spawn elementals of a plane of your choice. The more overgrown mines you have, the more elementals you get. And if you need even more units, build the Grizzly Den. It will attract grizzlies based on the number of anima and forest spirits in town. So it might be valuable to keep these at home and overrun your enemies with bears instead. Symbiotic Grove will give you 1 wood each day, which is very important because most of the Wild's units cost wood when recruiting. The Arcane. The Arcane Federation is specialized in controlling the battlefield with magic. A lot of their units have abilities to impede enemies' movement. For example, the Cryomancer has slowing, and the Addict has slowing and petrification. Other units like the Stonewatcher have Taunt, and the Warmagi and the Sultan use spells to disrupt the enemies. For late game, the Arcane has a choice between the Lion God, which is a wild beast that charges into battle, and the Thunder God, which is a high damage AoE ranged unit. The Arcane's heroes are spellcasters that create special resources which can be traded at the Aetherforge for either units, spells or other special effects. If you build the Arcane Spire, all your heroes will get a random 0 mana spell, which changes to a different one every time you use it. A little bit random, but it makes sure you always have a spell at your disposal. If you build a Ziggurat, your heroes get more mana, which allows you to cast even more spells. The Decay. The Decay's armies use necromancy to turn the tides of battle in their favor. Most of their units are hard to kill. The Bone Guard has warding, the Rotwalker is sturdy, the Banshee is ethereal, and the Mask of Decay is even immortal. The Sanguinist has Leech Life to extend his lifespan, and then there's the Lich, which creates more skeletons whenever he kills an enemy. For late game, the Decay has to choose between the Lifebane, a strong frontline warrior, and the Thanatos, a fast, deadly flying beast. The Decay's heroes use Curse of Undeath to turn defeated enemies into undeads. And for buildings, the Decay has the Soul Beacon, which also turns defeated enemies into allied undead units. The Soul Transmuter allows you to spend Mercury to replenish the Soul Beacon and also gives you access to more powerful units. And the Tomb of Silence will increase the growth rate of your skeletons and bone guards and gives you 2 Mercury each week, which you then can use in the Soul Transmuter to refuel the Soul Beacon. The PYRE. The Cult of PYRE uses fire and demons to spread chaos among their enemies. They have some more beefy units like the Glutton or the Lord of the Pit, and some mobility with the Pyre Beast or the Pyre Spawn, but the backbone of their army is the burning ability from the Flamestoker, the Lady of the Pit, the Shah or the Pride. It sets your enemies on fire and it will spread across their ranks. For late game, the PYRE uses the Pride, which is a strong fighter. It might not be the fastest, but it can teleport across the battlefield, starting fires and bringing chaos wherever it appears. The PYRE's heroes also use teleportation to send allies and enemies across the field, creating even more chaos. And for even bigger chaos, you can build the Infernal Gate, which will summon demons. If you build the Chamber of Rituals, it will make your heroes stronger by leveling them up, and the Ever-Burning Flame will give you 1 soul for each day, which you can either use to recruit more units or to power up the Infernal Gate. The Horde. The remains of the Horde's armies consist of strong warriors. Most of their units are very flexible. The Voodoo, the Fury and the Marauder are very mobile, while all the ranged units, the Goblin Grenadier, the Equine Guard and the Avalancher, have the versatile ability. For late game, the Horde has a Blood Chieftain, which is a strong fighter, leaping into battle, summoning goblins to help him fight. The Horde's heroes are fierce warriors with special abilities when in battle. For buildings, the Horde has the Nomad Hall, which allows you to hire nomad armies, which can be a big surprise to your enemies. The Sky Pillar will give you hero's luck and new free sand elementals, and the Banner of Champions will allow your units to gain experience and become stronger from battle to battle. The Enclave. The Enclave's armies have one of the lowest troop counts in the game. Most of their units have low growth rates, especially the Leech with the lowest growth rate for a tier 1 unit in the entire game. Besides that, they have a mix of units. They have strong units like the Swamp Water, ranged units like the Swamp Arrow or the Hierophant, and units with special abilities like the Storm Haxer, the Basilisk or the Fire Zard. For late game, the Enclave has the Apex, one of the strongest units in the entire game. It's a giant lizard with charge, rage and knockback. Their heroes have the special ability of finding hidden herds of beasts, which they then can either tame or hunt for trophies. For buildings, the Enclave can build the Slithering Temple, which allows them to summon a Great Hydra after 15 days. And you can build the Incubation Chamber, which will increase your growth rates, and Deep Tunnels, which provide you with various resources. That's it for now. I'm TH Pine, and have fun with Hero's Hour.